Hey, greetings to the body of the people. This is a man called Chris Dorsey, and there you're looking at Poroshenko, and he is the president of the Ukraine. And I want to talk about this martial law that's been enacted by this guy and this guy's Chabad Lubavitch bosses. Now he is appointed a Chabad Lubavitch. This guy's a Jew himself, an ethnic Jew. I'm talking about Poroshenko, not Christian. I'm poor. And first of all, I mean, all the governments of the world are criminal, but I mean, you got to go back to the time of Peter the Great for when Russia has gained control of Crimea. So it's been a couple hundred years, or more than well over a couple hundred years since this disputed territory has been made into a political football. And this guy Poroshenko, he operates under the Jewish mob, the Chabad Lubavitch Jewish mob. He gave the job of prime minister to a guy named let's see, Groisman, and this is the heartland of the Khazarian Empire. There have always been a lot of Eastern European Russian Jews, not only in Russia but in the Ukraine. And this is where Chabad Lubavitch was formed. Originally was in the Ukraine. So basically, the Russian mob is the Russian Jewish mob, and it's run by something called Chabad Lubavitch. And there's a bunch of stories in here about Michael Cohen, also a hardcore Port of Washington Chabad Lubavitcher. And there you see Donald Trump, the Chabad Lubavitch front man. And here's an article from the Telegraph talking about Michael Cohen and how he organized. Well, of course this thing goes blank, but about how he organized okay, that's fine then. Yeah, I keep pressing okay. I don't know what it says, but here you see. Donald Trump's personal lawyer was paid at least $400,000 to arrange a meeting between the Ukrainian and Donald Trump, according to the BBC. Mr. Trump and Petro Poroshenko met at the White House in June. The payment was arranged by intermediaries acting for the Ukrainian leader, sources told the BBC. Sources in it goes blah 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 blah. Sources in Ukraine told the BBC that Michael Cohen was brought in because Ukraine's registered lobbyist and embassy in Washington D.C. could come on now with this nonsense. Could get their president little more than a brief photo op with Donald Trump. Okay, so. Again, this is a Chabad Lubavitch thing. Speaking of Donald Trump, the Jewish mobster, there is that foul, filthy, what do you call him? Treasonous piece of crap. So while Donald Trump is initiating, and again, so they said for the first time since 1991 that martial law has been initiated. And look at what's happening in the United States. They're closing down the borders. This is all part of UN Agenda 21. This is right on the eve of the G20 summit where Trump is going to be meeting with Putin, also a Chabad Lubavitch puppet, and Xi Jinping with all the stuff with the trade wars with China and all that other stuff. So just want to keep you updated. This is martial law in the United States, martial law in the Ukraine, and it's just the world government led by the Jewish Chabad Lubavitch mob waging war, escalating war against the people, and escalating a military rule by, here in the United States, an unconstitutional United States military led by the unconstitutional Pentagon. And when I say unconstitutional, according to Article 1, Section 8, that the United States military, any United States military besides a Navy, it can't stand for more than 2 years. And that has to be, and a standing army can only exist for 2 years in a time of war. This government's unconstitutional. This is all part of UN Agenda 21, Agenda 2020, Agenda 2030. It's all the same thing. And this is continuity of government here in the United States, and it's martial law continuity of government in Ukraine too. Martial law here in the United States, martial law in the Ukraine. It's Chris Dorsey of the Virginia Militia signing off. Peace and God bless.